guys, in today's video, I am playing two characters, both of which may have little pieces of me. But anyway, there is a lot of conflict within the vegan community on YouTube right now. But I think that this is a good discussion to have, you know? What is the perfect vegan? Is it possible? Is it attainable? And these other questions. So I'm going to be posing some difficult or even impossible to answer questions, just so we can mull it over as a group. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't take anything I say too personally because I am acting for some of this. Take it with a grain of salt, take it with a tablespoon of chia seeds, and let's have a fun intellectual conversation. All right, impossible burger, more like impossible questions. Vegan humor. We're still working on it. Oh, hold on, slow down. Kalel said what? Not really vegan? Well, what percentage is she? That woman is going to give me a heart attack. Well, not really, because my cholesterol levels are too low for that. This situation is the worst thing to happen to the vegan community since sliced meat. I'll call you back. She's worked with PETA, for Christ's sake. I just don't see how she could make mistakes, admit them publicly, and have the audacity to still try to call herself vegan? Not on my internet. Have you heard anything about this situation? Hi, thank you for having me. By the way, these are veggie burgers. I wouldn't want you to think I was disrespectful showing up wearing meat burgers. See, look, it's just, that kind of looks like a nice gluten-free pumpkin bun with only lettuce and tomato. Super yummy. I feel like we just need to draw the line somewhere. Sorry, what? Okay, yeah. We can't just have people out here claiming that they're vegan when they're not. And we already tried the vegan police. That honestly didn't work out very well. All right, well, this is off the record, but I personally believe that everyone should just do their best. It's controversial, I know. But then again, where do we draw the line? At what point can you call yourself vegan? At what point can you put vegan and some plant emojis in your Instagram bio? 95%? 98? 99? How can we accurately quantify our lifestyle and eating habits into a percentage? First question, is veganism about doing the overall greatest good, or is it about attaining personal perfection? Which, by the way, is unattainable, but good on you for trying, sweetie. Okay, so about the Kalel situation. I know that she's already said that she doesn't want to label herself as a vegan anymore, which is a big step. But what, should we refer to her as vegetarian? Okay, well, imagine this as a spectrum, right? So you've got omnivores, the standard American diet, vegetarian, and then vegan. She's much closer to vegan than vegetarian, so why would we call her a vegetarian? But she did make a few mistakes. What do we do? What do we do when it's not easy to quickly put someone into a box and label them? Why are we so obsessed with labels? Okay, bear with me. Imagine the spectrum of sexuality, right? We are all very familiar with that, right? It's fluid, everybody. That being said though, imagine a lesbian starts slipping up. She starts kissing boys. How many times can she do that until we may need to change her label? Everything is about identity politics. It's none of my business, by the way. Well, what is this, a pass or fail driving exam? You get one less point than you need to pass, one too many mistakes, and boom, you're done? If so, how soon can you retake the test and prove yourself? When can you be redeemed? Can you be redeemed? Or are you forever damned to have a scarlet V on your forehead crossed out? I don't know, we're still working on that. Here's my question. Is vegan a day-to-day label? Imagine, vegan. They've been perfect, flawless for 5 years. One day, tragedy strikes. They use a chapstick with beeswax in it. Okay, right there, not vegan, not vegan. That day, August 17th, not vegan. The next day, they wake up, they throw the chapstick away and never use it again, return back to their vegan lifestyle. Are they vegan again? Were they unveganized for just that one day? And do we count that against them? Do we reset their vegan clock? Because yes, they were a perfect vegan for 5 years, but then they made a mistake. They can't just call themselves vegan anymore. Vegan 5 years, minus a day. This is day one, baby. You're restarting. Honestly, maybe we should take the recovery approach. You know, we could get those little 90-day, 1-year tokens. Do you think they do that for veganism? Because technically we are always recovering addicts. You literally get addicted to cheese. It is very serious. Is that an insensitive comparison to make? Okay, well, let's pose a little comparison to religion, because that's not controversial. For example, people can call themselves Christian but still sin. That's actually a huge aspect of the lifestyle. Everyone is a sinner, everyone makes mistakes, but as long as you admit it to your priest, pastor, Jesus, neighbors, Facebook, then you're still a good Christian. The community as a whole accepts that everyone makes mistakes. But then again, how far can you go? How can you still be labeled a good Christian? How many times can you sin? Is there a monthly limit? At what point do your friends, family, acquaintances start calling you a bad Christian? Okay, I have a question about food accidents. We all know when you go out to restaurants, you can never quite be sure how they're preparing your food. Maybe you order a veggie burger, assuming it's vegan, and they throw something stupid like eggs in it. Also, if I don't explicitly ask all of the details about my food, how it's made, the ingredients, am I intentionally, unintentionally eating non-vegan food? Well, yeah, you may be frequently accidentally eating non-vegan food, which, yeah, ipso facto, makes you not vegan. What is your intent? Does it matter? Ignorance is bliss. Or is it not? Okay, well, what about the people who eat clean and then have an extravagant cheat meal or day? Do they still deserve to be called healthy or fit? I think not. They literally glamorize the fact that they do so well 6 out of 7 days of the week, and then they binge on terrible food. I just don't understand that. But the difference is veganism is about ethics. So then what about sustainable or fairly sourced shopping? There isn't really an identity word to describe people who shop this way. I guess the closest thing would be like zero waste. So if someone who's a part of the zero waste movement slips up, say they use a plastic water bottle, should they never refer to their lifestyle as zero waste anymore? Because honestly, zero waste, use plastic, that's wasteful. Do you get what I'm saying here? It's just, it doesn't add up. How can you call yourself zero waste when you're clearly wasting? You know, just call yourself something else. I know that people like to use general terms like zero waste or vegan to, identify with a community who has similar beliefs, maybe not exact, but they share a lot of the same values. But still, calling yourself zero waste when you're maybe 99% wasteless, I mean, it's just a little misleading. And it's unfair to the people out there who truly are zero waste. I know I'd be pissed if I were zero waste and I saw someone who identified as a member of this community use a single-use item and dare to say that they're on my level. This is all about me, okay? What if my friends see that person use that straw and think that I would do the same? How others in my community behave reflects badly on me. I'm sweating. Thank God I'm wearing my organic, aluminum-free natural deodorant. That doesn't come in a container. I just kind of leave a block of it on my kitchen counter. Odd place for deodorant, I know. Well, let's go back to the definition of veganism, which people still argue over. Basically, it is to reduce animal suffering and harm as far as possible and practicable. But what is possible and practicable to you may not be the same to me. Therefore, vegan to you and vegan to me could be entirely different. Maybe not entirely different. They could be very slightly different. That is true. When I was in college and I had to eat in the dining hall, I found it very difficult to eat a purely vegan diet because even at the vegetarian section, sometimes, they would sneak in butter or something and not tell me. And suddenly I'm having an existential crisis in the dining hall because I just ate a minute amount of dairy. And on top of that, midterms are this week and I can't find a date to the social. But anyway, yes, you're right. Sometimes cultural, family values and living in a food desert, all of those things can contribute to making a 100% vegan lifestyle difficult. Not to mention expense and the lack of transparency in our products and our chains of production. I have a question. Is the meat or dairy industry worse? What's worse? Murder or torture? That's dark. Why are you asking? Yeah, I don't know why I brought that up. I just thought maybe if the whole world were vegetarian, then more people would be vegan. But then I still thought about the dairy industry and I thought about all the chickens laying too many eggs for their bodies. It just made me feel sad, so it didn't feel much better at all. Okay, going back to Kalel's whole thing about the candy bar, the infamous candy bars that she eats multiple times a year. If someone were to smoke a cigarette a few times a year, do we call that person a smoker? I worry about this when I go to the doctor and they ask if I drink alcohol or do drugs. I go, smoke what? Good question. And also, what about vaping? What about juuling? Do they say juuling? What about using that juul? Everybody loves a little USB drive in the club. But again, it's this concept of identity politics. It's like, why do we feel obligated to label other people, especially people who don't even care to label themselves? Or if someone does label themselves as something, why should we feel the need to change that or not respect them and just call them what they call themselves? Do you respect someone's self-given identity or label even if you don't agree with it? There was a quote from Plant-Based News, I believe, recently that was saying that basically veganism is the most strict binary. You're vegan, and if you do something not vegan, boop, you click right back to not vegan. I just thought that was interesting. We are a lot more forgiving and flexible and fluid with many other lifestyle choices, but veganism just seems to be like, better not ever mess up or do anything, because you'll be kicked out. Okay, I have a question. You're hanging out with your family. They've got a cheese platter. Everyone is stuffed. You haven't eaten a thing except plain crackers. They're about to throw away a bunch of food. Do you eat it or not? That's actually super interesting. It's kind of the concept of Freeganism, I believe, in which people will eat non-vegan things as long as it's free, which, I don't know, it may look like I'm crying because I am. They're dangling it over the garbage can. There were so many resources used to make that cheese. That can either all go to waste or it can go in your belly, in which case you would need to eat less vegan food later on, which would save resources, maybe? If the damage has already been done, the animal has already suffered or been killed, the product is right there. Is it worse to just eat it or to just throw it away? Do you stick to your own ethics and health concerns? You don't want to eat dairy, casein is addictive, it's dangerous. Or do you eat it to prevent that food waste? But if you do eat it, does that prove to whoever purchased it that what they're doing is indeed ethical and they will continue buying from and supporting that industry because they saw you, the freegan or the vegan or whoever, whatever you're calling yourself, eating it by supporting it, by consuming it? I'm getting lost. What is more important or significant? What is doing the greater good? Honestly, we can argue forever, and we will argue forever in the comment section of YouTube videos about what is more or less ethical, what is more or less environmentally sustainable, what is more or less healthy. What's a fair mistake, such as accidentally eating something, versus what is unforgivable, intentionally consuming something not vegan. Or we can just learn to judge others less and to encourage the good that they do and to kindly offer to educate or help people. Maybe we should be less concerned about labels. Or maybe we should just chill out entirely and not every single vegan on YouTube or every person who eats vegan needs to be an activist. But then if we aren't the activists, who will fight for this movement? Who will share the knowledge about the detrimental impacts of animal agriculture? How will we shift the supply and demand if we aren't specifically calling every food item we eat vegan, even though I've been vegan for 3 years, and obviously if I'm eating a hot dog, it's vegan. If I'm eating ice cream, it's vegan. If I'm eating a burger, it's vegan. You don't have to ask, but I still have to put vegan in there anyway. And I'm sorry when I come over for dinner, I announce that I'm vegan because you're about to hand me a plate of steak. I say, no, thank you. I'm vegan. No, thank you. I abstain from animal products in my diet and lifestyle. Read between the lines. I'm vegan. I hope that this video either blew your mind or made you seethingly angry. Again, know that I'm not making fun of any of this. I honestly cannot truly answer any of these questions myself because I flip-flop back and forth between my own personal beliefs and kind of the devil's advocate. I can see the other side, and I think that's important. I think we need to be understanding and realize that other people don't have the same beliefs or morals or ethics as us. Something that is so clearly black and white, right or wrong to you, may not look the same to someone else. If you've learned anything today, it's that not everything is a binary. Most things are spectrums, baby. That's okay. Things change. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. That's the biggest takeaway of this video. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Follow her on Instagram. That's important to me. Okay, thanks. Bye.